What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. Today we're continuing the 2023-2024 Toronto Maple Leaf player previews. Today we have Ryan Reaves. So if you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here, getting closer and closer to hitting that 14,000 subscriber mark. So tell your friends, tell everybody, make sure to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. But like I said, we're continuing these player previews, and this one's really cool. Ryan Reaves, he's a tough guy. He's a guy that was brought in, and a lot of people were surprised, including myself. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. And I think that he's going to surprise some people in terms of what he does off the ice, and that's probably going to be a big topic of discussion in this video. Before we get any further, also would just like to mention Manscaped, 20% off. Use my code APH. That's APH, 20% off, manscaped.com. You also get free shipping. But I don't want to waste any more time. Like I said, let's look into Ryan Reaves. So he signed for a cap hit of $1.35 million. And I think right away people were like, damn, that's pretty expensive for a guy that's kind of, just a tough guy. And I hate using the word goon, but, he's a guy that is out there to piss people off, throw the body around, and fight. And as you can see, 6'2", 225 pounds. Ryan Reaves is a big boy. We've been knowing. People who watch hockey know that Ryan Reaves is a big dude. He hits, he fights, he stirs it up, and he's out there to get the guys going. If they're down by a goal and they need a big fight or they need a hit or something like that, that's pretty much his job, and he's been doing that for a long time. He's probably the most feared fighter in the league. There's probably players that, other players fear just by the way that they hit and the volume and the speed and the impact of which they hit. But in terms of a guy that's going to crunch you and hit you out of nowhere, and ultimately if you drop the gloves with him, Ryan Reaves is probably the guy that people are the most afraid of. And this is why he's continued to get contracts, and him getting a 3-year deal from the Maple Leafs shows that there were teams interested in him, probably on a shorter term deal, and maybe that cap hit might have been a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower, depending on where he wanted to go. But I don't think teams were probably giving out 3-year deals to Ryan Reaves. I know that he said he wanted to come here and everything like that, and I genuinely do believe him. But I think that if the Maple Leafs wouldn't have given that 3rd year, this could have been completely different. The Leafs might have not been able to get a guy like Ryan Reaves. And he was the first piece that was rumored to come to Toronto in the offseason, and it ultimately came true. I was really hoping that the deal would be less than $1 million. But again, these players know that within the next couple of years that the cap is going up. And, Reaves does something that a lot of guys don't do in the league anymore, and he's a true enforcer. So him getting that extra year on top of that contract probably came because the Leafs needed to guarantee that they would acquire him. And like I've been saying, he's been getting contracts throughout his career for fighting and for being a tough guy out there, and he continues to get these deals because he does a good job at what he does. He knows what he's doing, and his numbers aren't gonna blow you away. His numbers in Vegas were pretty good, actually. He added a little bit of a different element to his game, and even playing for Minnesota, 15 points in 61 games, that's nothing to be upset about. And with New York, it didn't really work out, but he actually did end up playing a pretty decent role with Minnesota. Now, he wasn't an impact guy in the playoffs, but that wasn't his job. That's where he's getting less minutes. That's where he's throwing his body around a little bit more to try to entice other teams into dropping the gloves with him or maybe sparking something. But like I mentioned before, Ryan Reaves and his value comes somewhere else. Taking a quick break to let you guys know about the sponsor of this video, Manscaped. Hockey season is coming up, and we all know it's important to stay fresh and protected on and off the ice. And well, Manscaped is here to help us do that. I've got the Performance Package 4.0 with me. I've even got my travel bag, and it's perfect for the dressing room. Inside holds the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. It features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to help reduce accidents down there using its advanced skin-safe technology. It's also waterproof and has an LED spotlight for a more precise shave. Next up is a game changer, and that is the Weed Whacker Nose Hair Trimmer. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and has proprietary skin-safe technology. That's going to help nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate nose holes. You're also getting the Crop Preserver below the waist deodorant and Crop Reviver below the waist toner. And like I mentioned earlier, Manscaped threw in 2 free gifts with the Performance Package 4.0. That is the Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Get 20% off and free shipping with my code APH at manscaped.com. That's APH for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Now back to the video. For Ryan Reaves and the value that he gives the team is that his locker room presence is different than most players. And he's a guy that teams have talked about, coaches, staff. You can read many articles, players, fellow players, opponents, teammates, whatever. This is a guy that gets his team involved. This is a guy that gets his teammates involved on and off the ice. And one of the biggest issues that the Maple Leafs have been dealing with is that there's been rumors of not enough locker room presence. Sure, there's a guy like Tavares who's a captain and he'll be a little bit vocal and, he'll get the team going a bit. But there needs to be that secondary, leadership. And I don't think the Maple Leafs have truly had a guy of Reaves' caliber when it comes to locker room presence. There's been guys like Patrick Marleau, but he's more of a quiet, dad type figure. Joe Thornton, same thing. They said he's a little bit vocal, but not to the extent that you need. And I really don't think that Joe Thornton worked out at all in Toronto, which is really unfortunate because it seemed like he might have been a good locker room presence. But these young guys need to learn from a guy who's mastered the art of the locker room presence and a guy that's mastered the art of getting his teammates involved in any way possible. And I think that this is going to be huge for the Maple Leafs. And as crazy as that sounds, because, people are looking at Ryan Reaves and going, well, he just fights and whatever, who cares? He'll be a fourth line guy. But every little detail this year matters. And if that locker room and off the ice, there's issues there, not with players maybe having friction, but with them not coming together all the time and not having all that team bonding and stuff like that, then that needs to be addressed. And that's something that was addressed by Brad Treliving by acquiring a guy like Ryan Reaves in free agency. So if that's where a lot of his value comes in, then that's completely fine with me. And it's a guy that in the coming years, if the Leafs feel like they don't need to have him playing all the time and he's going to be in the press box, he's still going to have that value. He's still going to be able to talk to the team in the room. He's still going to be at practices and off the ice. He's still going to be having these team dinners. And that's something that he's talked about in his interviews, that he wants to get the team together for dinners and for other things. So I'm really excited for that. And the next thing that I just briefly, going back to the fighting aspect of it that I wanted to show you guys was, hopefully you can see these numbers, but last year he had 7 total fights. Now this is the second page of the most fights in the NHL. So the most fights was 14, but as you can see, there's a bunch of guys that had 7 fights. So he's among the league's best when it comes to dropping the mitts and a guy that will fight when he needs to. So you're going to see probably a lot more players get involved in the physicality because they're going to see a guy like Ryan Reaves stepping up. And, I turn to guys probably like a Bertuzzi, although he's, been injured. You don't want him dropping the gloves too often. You'll probably see Domi drop the gloves a little bit more than he usually does. So you're going to get guys involved that are physical, and it adds a different element when you have a guy like Ryan Reaves who, if something goes down, you can call on him right away. And that's no knock on any guys they've had in the past, like a Wayne Simmons or something like that. It's just Ryan Reaves is probably going to see a lot more time in terms of getting on the ice to just piss somebody off or to fight them. So it's a different element. This team is going to look a little bit different. I think that Sheldon Keefe has some different toys to play with this year, different types of things that he can move in and out of the lineup. And you're probably going to see Ryan Reaves in the lineup almost every single night because he brings that element. So let me know what you guys think down below. in the comments sound off about Ryan Reaves. Like I said, if you are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. Love to have you guys here. Check out my other videos. Lots of content posted recently and lots more to come. Make sure to use code APH at Manscaped. That's code APH at Manscaped for 20% off and free shipping. But like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. I love and appreciate you guys as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.